In today's video, you're going to get to see some outrageously cute Newfoundland puffins, 3 spectacular landscape photography shoots, some delightful Newfoundland culture, and some very argumentative seagulls. But will Gord Follet ever get out of my shot? Before we get into that though, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who pre-ordered my new book, Stories Within Stories. So we've been really busy packaging those up for everybody who pre-ordered, and we're going to drop off a truckload at the post office ASAP, and then they're on their way. And if you're interested, there's a link in the description. Now imagine waking up to this. So today we've come to a place called Elliston, which is famous for puffins and also root cellars. That's how it used to be in the old days, no fridge, no freezer. But yeah, we're mostly interested in a chance of seeing puffins because we've heard that they arrived about a week ago. Amanda wanted to check out this old historic house just to see how people used to live back in the day. Whoa. There was some really nice artwork on display. Now the reason I wanted Amanda to see this is so that it would make our half-finished church reno look a lot more luxurious. I mean, we've got toilets. What more does she want?
This would have been their mudroom, I guess.
Little indoor deck to enjoy the view. Look at that view. That's for the wait staff.
It's furnished nicer than ours.
It is actually. I wonder how many people lived in this.
16, I bet.
My girth was a bit wide for this staircase. I feel tall.
What's your head? A little chaise lounge in this one.
Fireplace. I'm old enough to actually remember beds like that.
Do you think you'll be happy here tonight?
I think we'll stick with the camper. It's a bit chilly.
There's no toilet.
Yeah, we'll stick to the camper. It's cute though. It was time to get the cameras out and see if we could frame up a shot of some adorable little puffins. They're just so cute though. So we've hiked onto the edge of this lookout, and Gord tells me it's called, what's it called, Gord?
Puffin Rock?
Puffin Rock. I can't figure out why, but they call it Puffin Rock, and it's in the area of Elliston. And it's brilliant because it's kind of like its own little universe. There's all kinds of little stories going on. There's a couple of amorous gulls going at it. there's families having massive arguments. It's like a day at the beach. All kinds of characters doing stuff, flying off, coming back in, courting, and the light's a bit on the harsh side, but it's going to cloud over this afternoon. So for me personally, I don't have an ND filter on this, and I'm trying to shoot video, so I'm having to shoot at f18 just to get that not too bright. But if the light just softens a little bit, then I should be able to get some nice footage. But just have a look at these characters over here.
Hey, what? Do you want a kiss? Yeah, go on then. You never kiss me, ever. I do. I do. No, you don't. Never. I do. I do. All right, maybe, but it's not enough. I'm going.
Anybody want some seaweed? Got some cheap seaweed here. It's good quality. Get it while you can. Nah. Look at my wings. Look at me wings. Look at that. Yeah. Aye. Will you clean up after yourself? God, look at this bloody mess everywhere. Everywhere. If you're not going to use it, I'll use it. Bloody penguins.
We're puffins, idiot.
Just riffraff. Yep. Now watch this. Look at me chest. Look at me chest. Look at them pecs. Oh, yeah, they love this.
Hey, watch this. Yeah, brilliant.
Now when you see pictures of these cute little footballs known as puffins, you think that they're massive, but they're tiny, aren't they? Like as big as a kitten. What happened?
What? What was the question again?
Hell. I'll start again. They're about the size of kittens, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
About the size of a tiny little chihuahua.
About right.
Good conversationalist is God.
Now, when you go to Newfoundland, you'll see some of these stages just dotted all over the place. And at first, I thought that they were for impromptu rock concerts, but it actually turns out they're fishing stages for drying out the fish. So they would spread out the fish, stake them down, and then let the weather dry them out with that never-ending wind.
Hey, Gord,
Yeah.
why do they put those tarps on the plaque signs things?
I have no idea.
I figured it was because they'll just catch so much snow and ice in the winter that they don't want to get the sign getting destroyed, and they just cover it up.
Yeah, that might be it.
Another good conversation with Gord there.
Next, Gord and I took the group to a place called Tickle Cove, which had a nice beach, but we weren't there to shoot this. We were here to shoot this. Let it be known that Gord Follet loves danger even more than I do. So we all set up our cameras and began to wait for the magic to happen. And it did not take long. I figured this was an easy way to make $20 selling Gord a new profile picture. He hasn't paid yet, but I'm sure he will.
So tonight we've come to this spectacular sea arch, which just so happens to have a giant 100-foot light ray blasting through it. You know me, I like light rays, especially 100-foot ones that blast through arches. And as you can see, what's really making the shot are these boiling, roiling waves. Absolutely, just absolutely tremendous. And the sun, I'd say, is about 1 hour from setting, and this is, look at that! If only I wasn't talking to this camera and I was paying attention to that one instead. I would have got the shot of a lifetime. They're probably overexposed. I'm going to just stop this. Okay, I apologise for that loss of self-control there. Get back to talking to you. Anyway, as you can see, the light that's hitting those waves, it's just majestic. It's backlit, so you get that lovely aquamarine glow through the water, but then on the very tips of the wave, where it's just starting to get white, you've got that lovely orange glow. And we're lucky enough to have a few clouds. You probably can't see them in this frame, they'll probably be a bit overexposed. We've got everything. The only trouble is, we've got two of our workshop folk. One of them's an instructor. Gord has been in that shot for 2 hours. So, you know, that's just how it goes, isn't it? So I might just text him and say, get out of there. Anyway, I reckon I've got about 20 minutes before the light is done, so I'm going to stop blabbing and get on with this shooting. And if this shot turns out to be any good, here's the shot.
Decide if it looks better with people or not. Post a comment and let me know, should I Photoshop them out or keep them? What a fantastic day of landscape photography in Newfoundland. But it was time to get back to the camper because tomorrow we'd be back on the hiking trail.
So we're back for our second chance at Chance Cove, and the light's so much better than it was yesterday. Ooh, have a look at this little view here. This is quite nice. Beware of cliff.
We were all on the lookout for icebergs, but so far we'd seen none.
So we've got maybe I think it's a 10-minute hike from where we are right now, and then we should get a really nice view of this rather epic sea stack with the beautiful crescent-shaped shoreline leading up to it. So I'm hopeful we might get a shot.
one thing I love about Newfoundland are these hand-painted signs that nobody pays attention to. And we even found a gnarly tree in the forest before we arrived at this gorgeous beach. Now seriously, would you just look at this business right here?
So I'm down on the beach with Gord. This is Gord Follet, Newfoundlander and photographer extraordinaire, who I'm doing this photography workshop with. Hello, Gord.
Hey, how are you?
That's smooth. So I'm going to try on this trip to convince Gord to start a YouTube channel. Do you think I've got a chance?
Not in this lifetime.
Really? You've already decided you're not even going to do it?
Not yet.
What if you get literally several requests from my viewers saying...
We'll see.
Yeah? Because, I mean, you've got such a beautiful landscape. Day 3, and I'm quite impressed. From down here, there's way more foreground than there is up there. Up there, you can get a lovely curve because you're higher up. And that is southeast. So it'd be a nice thing to come back and shoot the Milky Way just right there.
So our group got busy working the scene, but then we found something really sad. A baby seal with no head or tail. I suspect it was orcas playing with their food. So after about an hour or so of shooting, we got back on the road to check into Friday's Bay cottages near Twillingate, and Amanda and I fancied that bright green one on the end. Let's take a look inside, shall we? Ooh, waterfront, nice. Colour matched bed sheets, nice. Cosy.
Crashing waves.
So once everyone had checked in and dropped off their luggage, it was time to get back out there and find a shot for sunset.
I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see this, but just on that sea stack there is, I believe, a juvenile eagle. It's either an eagle or an osprey, as if I know anything about birds, but I might just get the telephoto out, zoom in, and see if I can find out for sure.
Now, if you guys know what this is, do me a favour and post a comment and let me know for sure.
So tonight's sunset finds us at the Newfoundland version of the Old Man of Storr. Don't you think that looks like the Old Man of Storr, but in miniature? Coastal Storr. Absolutely gorgeous. This whole ridgeline up here is just so impressive and pointy and gnarly. I love that kind of thing. We've got lots of lovely foreground with the waves making all kinds of splashes, waterfalls as they pour back down off of these rocks. Just brilliant. When we first got here, it was kind of like this, overcast, and I think those were our better shots. Then the sun popped out and we were like, oh yeah, sun, but it was way too bright and too harsh. Now you can see the sun's popped behind that cloud and it's much better. But the tide's coming in, the waves are getting bigger, so we're getting pushed further back. But I reckon we might get some absolutely magnifique light in the next hour or two. So I'll show you the composition and I'll explain my shot. Right, so I'm hoping you can see this. There's probably quite a lot of glare on the screen, but if I just darken this down a little bit, you can see there's some lovely texture in the clouds there. And if I brighten it up, you can see what's going on with the foreground. So the shot is really all about these pointy pinnacles here, and then the way that the waves crash in and just give all sorts of texture and dynamics to these rocks in the foreground here.
For this shot, So I actually switched to the Hasselblad X2D because that medium format frame is just a little bit taller and I wanted to include more of that foreground. But would that sky ever light up with the setting sun? Set up this composition and got Amanda to hit the shutter while I flew the drone. So whose shot is it? Anyway, a quick reminder, the books are now in stock and we're packing them up ready to send out. There's a link in the description.